Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today I sneezed and my right arm hurt for about 25 minutes. Man, getting old frickin' sucks. But what doesn't suck is sitting down to watch the Viper playing as the Burgundians in green take on Capoch playing as the Saracens in red. Now while the players heard their hurtables explore their immediate surroundings, perhaps trying to get all the goats on the map, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. The Viper comes back for that last Billy Goat. Let's take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today. The Burgundians, the John Belushi, I should say the coked out John Belushi of civilizations, comes with some of the craziest features and upgrades in the entire game. To start with, militarily, the Burgundians do focus primarily on cavalry, being the only civilization in the game to get cavaliers in Castle Age. And their unique unit, the Coustelier, is a medium cavalry shock unit that has a charge attack where every 40 seconds, a massive 20 or 25 gets added to its attack. Now, to support their cavalry on the battlefield, Burgundian gunpowder units come with extra attack, and they have access to a second unique unit, the Flemish Militiamen. This is a medium infantry unit that comes with a decent attack bonus against cavalry, and something that might be problematic for our Saracen, camels as well. Now, if that's still not enough military for you, the Burgundians can conscript their entire civilian population by turning each and every villager into a Flemish militiaman and allowing even more Flemish militia to be trained out of their barracks. Now, in order to help pay for their war machine, Burgundian stable techs are cheaper. Their relics generate gold in addition to food, or rather, well, I mean, the relics do technically generate gold, but no, they generate food in addition to gold. They get all economic upgrades and age earlier, and those same upgrades cost a third less food, and all of their farmers can be upgraded to generate a small amount of gold as they till their fields. Think Vietnamese with paper money, how lumberjacks generate gold. In this case, it's farmers who generate a small trickle of gold as the elephant. Was that a perfect pull? I don't think he took any damage. I think this villager was damaged before. Very well done there by the Viper. Let's pivot south and take a look at the Saracens, a civ we saw yesterday, whose strong market can be used to get an early to mid-game advantage over their opponents. To start with, Saracen markets do only cost 75 wood compared to the usual 175, and their commodity trading fee is fixed at 5%, which significantly lowers the cost of trading resources earlier on in the game when every other civilization has to pay 30%. Now, using these economic advantages, the Saracens can field quite a hard-hitting, tanky army, since their foot archers come with an attack bonus against buildings, which makes their feudal aggression potentially very, very scary. Their camel units also come with 25% more HP. Their trebs, their mangonels, their onagers can all be upgraded to increase their attack. And their unique unit, the Mameluke, is a ranged melee camel unit that comes with a big attack bonus against cavalry, which may prove problematic for our Burgundian. So very curious and very excited to watch this game between these two players and see the directions they choose to go. Now, lastly, if, as we, sometimes happens in Age of Empires, as I mentioned last game, a unit gets injured, maybe a few units get injured, their HP goes down, Saracens can actually upgrade their monks so that they automatically and passively heal all friendly units within a 5-tile radius, even if they're doing other actions. Super cool new tech for the Saracens there. Those are the two civilizations right as I finish discussing them. Both players finish up Loom. Both players click up to Feudal Age. Both at 18 villagers. A good time for us to see where the bases are, where the players spawned, and if we can notice any particular weaknesses or pressure points that opponents might want to press on. Primary gold annoyingly on a hill, annoyingly in the forward position here for our Saracen. Stone in the back, but man, is the back open. The lemon bushes are not going to provide too much cover here. He's got 3 medium-sized forests in the forward position, which isn't bad. So he can wall off the forward portion of his base. Has the Viper, by the way, seen? So the Viper knows generally where his opponent is, and now he's going to start the Magellan-like circumnavigation of the base, getting ever and ever closer without risking that scout taking any kind of damage from a town center. Where are his additional resources? He's got some gold and stone in the top right and additional gold to the left of his base. Speaking of the Viper, the Burgundian also 3 medium forests, only 1 really in the forward position. So his forward position is completely open and the gold is nice and exposed. Unfortunately, yeah, I mean, what I love about what the Viper's doing here is he's taking the high ground, which is super important, especially when that high ground can be used to attack into any kind of gold miners. And wow, okay, gold miner here already starting to generate a bit of gold. And look at that. The Viper getting Bowsaw in Feudal Age, one of the super cool features of the Burgundians. Like I said, pretty much an oddball civilization here. It was very, very quirky, very, very fun, very, very finicky. And yeah, if you want to play with these guys, I definitely recommend you watch some YouTube videos with build orders and things like that, just because the meta is so different. The Viper unable to stop the scout. Not too sure why he would want to. The scout kind of heading outside the base. But in any event, as I mentioned, any civilization that deviates so much from the standard meta play, definitely look it up before you try it, or just try it, have fun with it, and see where it takes you. Not really one to tell you what to do. Just basically GGHF, you know? Primary stone secure off to the side, but also kind of exposed. And where are his additional resources? Okay, so his gold, extra gold, I should say, is nice and to the back, whereas our Saracens extra gold is a little bit to the forward portion of his base. Speaking of our Saracen, he is already here, and the Viper, not really a wall off, more of a bit of an entrance welcoming committee here for his opponent. And his opponent, Capoch, already racking up 1 kill. And at the usual 10 to 12 minute mark of the game, we already have our first glitch, our first infinitesimally small yet noticeable pause in the game, as 2 more Burgundian units lie dead on the sands. Oh man, the Viper here losing 3 units. The Saracens continuing to circle one of Capoch's units is incredibly weak. Let's take a look, because I see he's starting to construct. He's got a stable, a market. What is this, a blacksmith? Of course it is. Our Saracen, equal villager count, ahead a little bit in army count, but he is housed. Is he building a house? Okay, he's just finishing up a house right now. So not the end of the world, but still housed as his archers now begin pushing away the Viper's wood line. Does the Viper have a backup wood line? Of course he does. Now, the interesting thing is, because Capoch mixed in archers, which, as the Saracens, again, +3 attack bonus against buildings here, means that it's generally a good idea to mix in a few archers into your mix. Means he can't really wall off his wood lines very well. What he might want to do is get a few more skirmishers here to this position. I see he's got 4, but only 1 of them is here. Let's see how this works out for him. Okay, works out pretty damn well, as the 1 skirmisher shoos away 3 archers. Oh man, the power of a counter unit. The Viper, though, still looking for that first kill. As this, okay, full health spearman. Where's the super damaged one? I saw the red dot. I clicked on the zebra. There you are. At the same time, though, the Viper finally manages to get a kill as a spearman on the high ground falls. And Capoch zones him out. Okay, the Viper basically evening up the kill count right as Capoch manages to get an extra kill himself. But now these 2 skirmishers from our Burgundian are basically dead meat. This scout is going to get them, and they're not going to do too much damage against a villager with loom and 2 pierce armor against the unit that attacks only on a 2. Low stakes battle here in front of the Viper's base as a spearman chases a spearman right into the welcoming committee of those same 3 archers. And he's going to try to cut him off. This is probably a delay tactic. He wants green to attack into his spearman. And while he does that, those archers will catch up. And so he's sacrificing 1 spearman to get the spearman of his opponent. But the Viper, not his first rodeo, immediately backs that spearman up into skirmishers as he loses a spearman himself. Okay, so the players are trading a good amount of blows. Our Burgundian is really gung-ho about his economic upgrades. Holy moly, noticing that our Saracen isn't really putting on too much aggression. I mean, look at the army count. It's 13 to 6, but you wouldn't know it. Capoch is not being that active with this army. Maybe he's waiting to gather it all up into a one. I don't want to call it a death ball because we are still in Feudal Age, but I don't know, a bruise ball? Something that can injure you but not kill you. Viper loses another unit. But look at the Viper's economic upgrades. Our I mean, look at the top right of your screen. Double bit axe for the Saracen. Literally 4 extra economic upgrades for our Burgundian. So his economy, speaking of John Belushi high on coke, man, this economy is going to start flying any minute now, if it hasn't already. And the Viper with 35 villagers needs to get those numbers up. He is gathering the food necessary to go up to Castle Age, while our Saracen is investing in armor upgrades for his cavalry units. Now, the archers could do potentially a little bit of damage to these houses. How many are there here now? 6, so an extra 18 attack against the house every time they fire an arrow. Or every time all 6 of them fire an arrow. And look at this, Capoch, be careful here. You might get 1 or 2 skirmishers, but you're going to lose a bunch of scouts for it. Is this walled off? Kind of looks like it. Capoch engaged, takes 2 pokes of the spearman. That's 18 damage apiece. All of a sudden, 36 HP disappearing out of a total of 270 is 10% of their HP gone in the blink of an eye. Like I said, man, the power of counter units. And our Burgundian, despite having almost no army compared to his opponent, despite being down 3 villagers, despite spending his entire bankroll on economic upgrades, is heading up to Castle Age years ahead of our Saracen. But our Saracen, if he can get up to Castle and upgrade this army, there is a large presence here. But look at their HP. Look at how damaged these units are. Holy shit. They're down less than half of their HP. Oh, that's not good news for Capoch. As his scout gets surrounded, manages to get 1 villager. Will he get another? No, he absconds. Some of these gold miners might want to join in on the fight. No, a little bit too late there by the Viper. Could have poked and prodded. How much HP? Only 5. I don't know why these villagers aren't attacking. Oh, they're not attacking because the north, more scouts are coming in. They busted their way through the north of the base. Man, oh man, is this a glass cannon army? Look at this HP. The Viper says, you know what, I'm trying to wall in, but you've got archers, so there really is no point in me walling in these gold miners. Because there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to defend those villagers against archers, and our Saracen must be scratching his head. He just sold a whole bunch of resources, bought a whole bunch of resources, and now he's heading up to Castle Age? Literally 2.5 minutes behind, actually more, sorry, closer to 3 minutes behind his opponent, who is now getting out knights. And remember, we're in Castle Age, and stable techs are 50% cheaper for the Burgundians, which means they're generally very, very quick to get the Cavalier upgrade. That being said, we'll see how far into the future our Burgundian is looking, because if you go heavy on the cavalry, that's just inviting a Mameluke invasion. For now, the Viper stops at 4 knights. He must see the shitty HP on these scouts. He must know he can take this entire fight. Deletes his own house, doesn't need it. He's got 44 population space that he can use as, let's take a look who wins this. I mean, obviously we know who wins this, but how bad is it gonna be? Oh no, these archers all fall as Capoch tries to get something done inside the Viper's base, but it looks like his units there are also falling, and the last of the archers fall, and holy moly, talk about cool under pressure. The Viper just rushing his butt up to Castle Age, and not in a very quick, undefending manner. Again, dumped a whole bunch of resources into these economic upgrades. And look at the bottom right of your screen. Even though he's down 5-6 villagers, resources gathered are the exact same. Literally 200 resources difference, even though he's down, again, 5 or 6 villagers at the time I looked at that screen. That just goes to show you the power. Is this open? Of, no. Of economic upgrades an age earlier. And he is doubling down on economics. He's getting gold shaft mining. Okay. Okay. Are we going to get to see a big cavalry transition out of him? We're seeing husbandry, but no real other upgrades. He doesn't have the gold for it. He's been knocked off this primary gold for the longest time. But you know what? I said Mamelukes. I should have also added camels. 145 HP. So this is a unit with 100 HP. The Saracen bonus gives them an extra 25. And then Husbandry gives, Bloodlines gives them another 20. And I said this yesterday. What the hell do you do against a Camel Rider with 145 HP if you're a cavalry civilization? What the hell do you do? You need supporting units. Second town center going up for our Saracen. He is again. Actually, no. My eyes were completely mixed up. Now he's down villagers as the Viper builds a second and a third town center, both perfectly located next to some gold and wood. And now he's got 15 villagers on gold with gold shaft mining. And now he's going to get himself a camel as it now chases its former teammates. Damaged, but alive. The Viper manages to retain that unit. But the Saracen tried to get some of those scouts. Was not successful. I should say light cavalry, not scouts. And now they're roaming around the map. A few camels might want to intercept here. What is the relative speed? Should be very similar. 1.6 tiles a second, 1.65 tiles a second. So not very dissimilar. A market just now being built for our Burgundian at the 27.5-minute mark of the game. Monk tries to convert, fails, and now the camel backs up the monk and chases that scout around the map. What the heck are the players doing? Let's take a look. They've kind of disengaged from one another. So our Saracen base looks a little lackluster, not gonna lie. He's down 12 villagers. He's ahead in army count, but 3 of that army is useless. We've got a scout and 2 spearmen. What the hell are you going to do with a scout and 2 spearmen? Let's take a look at our Burgundian base. 3 town centers, ahead 13 villagers now, and his army count monks, knights, light cavalry, and that converted camel. And now a castle. Did he buy the stone? He bought 600. He bought 700 stone. The Viper just dumped 1,200 gold. 1,200 gold was just plopped down to get a castle up. Viper not being scared to go with the big expenditures here. Let's see what that castle is for. Are we going to get to see Custeliers? For now, I don't really know. He's not really upgrading his cavalry beyond +1/+1. Or are we going to get to see Burgundian vineyards? They do. He does have 30 villagers. I'm not too sure exactly at what number. Same with paper money. I'm sure Spirit of the Law or somebody more mathematically inclined than I am has calculated how many villagers on wood or how many villagers on food, meaning farms, you need in order to make paper money or Burgundian vineyards worthwhile. Oh, the castle. The castle was for quick imperial. How many stables is he going up for? Up to, rather, 3. But you're going stables against the cavalry sniping civilization here. Mamelukes and camels with bonkers level HP. 18 of them now. And Capoch is going for a castle drop. But he's dropping it right in the face of this castle, which, by the way, he just discovers. I never noticed, by the way, that this castle has these 2, oh my god, torches in the front. It's like a nighttime castle. And our Saracen is going to be facing Cavaliers. Now, even Cavaliers might have a bit of trouble with Camel Riders. I mean, their attack bonus against cavalry is only +9. It's not exactly the 18 of a heavy Camel Rider, but there's 18 of them out on the field. He's only got 5 knights that are going to be Cavaliers, and they're all on this side of the map. Our Saracen has an opportunity here. Viper invested huge amounts of resources into his economy and into going up Imperial ASAP, whereas Capoch is still in Castle Age with double the army count, although down 17 villagers now, and we know what this means. He wants to drop another castle here. 16 villagers! Now, you're not Hindustani camels. Not too sure why you're wasting your time attacking these structures. Camel's not exactly the greatest at that. And where are you going? How many villagers is this? 7 villagers. He's only got 300 stone. He's plopped down another castle very defensively. He does not want to risk his resources. The Viper playing incredibly defensive here as he gets the last scout, the last Feudal Age scout of his opponent. And looks like a Cavalier got converted here into the Saracen army. The Viper still has 3 cavaliers over here, a bunch of villagers to the left, another town center. You think he's playing Sicilian with the First Crusade, and there is the Paladin upgrade. Now, Burgundian Paladins, not exactly the best. They're still missing bloodlines, but because their stable techs are 50% cheaper, it generally means that the Burgundians are the first of the civs to get Paladin. That's generally the way it works. If you have cheaper upgrades, you know, you lean into those upgrades and you lean into those discounts. The Viper here with the high ground is starting to shell away at this castle, which should not take too much damage. But our Saracen, he wants to lame this gold. Another castle. Is it all 16? All 16 villagers are going up, and he's a minute and a half away from Imperial himself. Let's see Burgundian Paladins with their lack of 20 extra HP take on heavy camel riders with their extra 25% HP. That is just going to be absolutely epic. 13 cavaliers on the field of battle. As I say that, 3, 2, 1. Where are they? They become paladins. Oh, I almost missed that. I think I may have actually missed that. But he's going up to 17 paladins. Why is Capoch not building not training camels? I wonder. Is he saving up the resources for the upgrade to heavies? Or is he saving it for other upgrades? He still doesn't have iron casting. So these guys are not super duper upgraded, shall we say. And now the Viper's busted into his base, getting in more armor upgrades, so they're going to be better at raiding. They're going to be able to take a punch. Now, do I think armor upgrades are relevant, as relevant as attack upgrades against the camel? I'm not 100% sure. I mentioned this last game. Kind of have to tailor your upgrades to the what your opponent has. And with the camels, like with pikemen, it's really their bonus that matters. I mean, this 6+1 attack, the paladin has enough armor. You don't need more armor, even with just a 3. You're taking 4 base damage. The Viper doesn't notice the villagers here. Oh, what a missed opportunity to get 4 or 5 or even 6 villagers. Saracen castle to the center has fallen to the Trebs. Now the second castle is under bombardment. The Viper just now getting town watch as well. And there's the heavy camel rider upgrade. Let's see it complete. Oh, but he's taking this fight a little bit too early. Okay, smart move here out of our Saracen. Right as I say that, he moves in. You should not be taking this fight, or maybe you should be. Maybe you should be. Maybe I'm the idiot. Let's see them. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's look at their fancy new clothes. There they are. Whoa. Burgundian vineyards. Okay, there we go. So I guess now we know the Viper thinks at 70 villagers, that's when you get that upgrade. Okay. Question asked, question answered. As he plops down even more villagers to get more food. 17 on gold, 74 on food, 32 on wood. Maybe a bit too much. Maybe a little bit too much. By the way, look at the villager count, 137 to 81. Now, one thing you have to remember, I mean, aside from many things you should remember about the game, because the Burgundians are the coked out civilization, you have no clue what they're going to do. If you ever dealt with anybody who is in any level of inebriation that approaches the level of John Belushi, you should know you can never predict what they're going to do. And the Viper's going up to 148, 150 villagers. So you have to always be cognizant of the upgrade that has caused so much debate, so much consternation, so many opinions, so much hate, so much love, so many arms ringing into the sky, begging for the developers' intervention. I'm talking about Flemish Revolution, which, I mean, look at the Viper. He sold 1,000 food for gold. Is he going to do a Flemish Revolution? Look at his resources. Either he's going to go balls to the wall paladins, which I don't see it. He's stopped at 17. He's only got 4 stables. Why did he do that? He's going up to 164 villagers. Yes, we're going to see a Flemish Revolution. And Capoch is not ready for it at all. At all. They come with a +6 attack bonus against camels. And even with their extra HP, even at 170 HP, you're going to be dealing with 185 army count. Now, I don't want to get excited. I've called things wrong before. The Viper's backup units here, 7 trebuchets. No, he's definitely doing Flemish Revolution. He's getting blast furnace. He's getting plate mail armor. He's getting arson. Forget the cavalry, he says. I am absolutely going balls to the wall infantry, and this is a big distraction here by paladins to try and distract. And there it is. 3, 2, 1. Let's look at them. Oh, they dropped off all their resources. And look at the Viper's supply. His population, 198 army count. Was I right about the +6? Camel +6. What the hell do you do here as the Saracen? He is going to get overwhelmed. He doesn't have anything prepared for this. Oh no, Capoch is about to get swarmed. Our Saracens have a pristine archer line. Might want to train a few hand cannoneers. Does he even have chemistry? I didn't notice the Viper moving in with a very aggressive forward castle. Saracen castle down, emergency castle being built to the back. But again, what the actual F do you do against the 183 army supply? Look at the absolute overwhelming heart of the swarm here. And that's exactly what happens. Oh my goodness. What an absolute bonkers upgrade. Technology, whatever the hell you want to call it. These guys are just so bonkers. And our Saracen, what is his vision, by the way? I'm wondering, what could he have done? What could he have done? He saw that he got rid of a few stables to the front. He must have known. I mean, look at the score. The score is just ridiculous. The Vipers double the score. He's seen all of these farms. You must know that your opponent is going heavy on the villager count. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you're looking at other parts of the map, but all of a sudden there's literally 40 army supply. There's more army supply in this one area of the map on this one screen. Literally triple the entire Saracen army count. And those camels just absolutely melt to that +6 attack bonus. And that's why I thought, like I said, armor upgrades against units that have bonuses, not as relevant. I love, by the way, the arson upgrade so that they at least have a +2 attack bonus. He's got 156 militia. Now, whether or not you like this upgrade, it doesn't matter. It is an insane upgrade. An insane feature of the game. Like I said, the Burgundians, man, do they have a lot of bonko features. And I love, by the way, what the Viper is doing. He's distracting to the right. He was distracting here with paladins until I guess this castle went up. And then all of a sudden shows up with this absolute crazy switch here. His economy was just absolutely firing on all cylinders. This was, I mean, I don't know if the Burgundians or that whatever part of Burgundy, let's say, makes cars, but this was a Ferrari economy compared to Capoch's. I don't want to be insulting to any car company. Lada? I don't know. The Yugo? I don't know. There's a lot of these car companies that I guess still kind of exist, but not really. Nah, you know what? I shouldn't even say a Lada or a Yugo. I've actually driven both, and they're pretty sturdy cars. But you've got a Ferrari here on the racetrack against an economy that was literally at 84 villagers. And camels are not going to do jack. This is a counter unit. This is a special built unit. It does not have any bonuses relevant whatsoever, which means it attacks on an 8 against a unit with 4 armor. So 4 damage, 60 HP, 15 attacks of the camel to kill 1 Flemish militiaman who comes with a 15 attack. And then on top of that, a 6 bonus against camels. Is it any wonder you see a whole bunch of red camels here? And from what I can tell, literally 1 Flemish militiaman in the dust here. Although, never mind. 3. Okay, 3. Wow. That was an absolute crazy switch. I was not expecting that right up until he started getting his villager count up and then investing in infantry upgrades. So the Viper fooling me as well. Whether that's a good thing to admit or not, doesn't really matter. By the way, our Burgundian, all 5 relics. I'm very curious to see the economy, because this was a pretty strong economic game out of the Viper. If you want to study this game in terms of how to build up your economy and take as little damage as possible, this is the perfect game to study. Because again, remember that most of the game, he was down significantly in army count. Although Capoch really, like we saw, the HP on his units was really what betrayed him in the end. I mean, this is ridiculous. 170 Flemish militias against 32 camels. This is not, you're not a Leonidas camel. This is not going to work out for you. PKPM, middle of the game, PKPM, right at the beginning of the game, Capoch clicking furiously, trying to queue villagers and so forth. Wow. I mean, look at this line at the end, the green line just going to zero as his entire economy comes to a standstill. But what the actual hell? 1,600 relics gold, all 5 relics, 7,000, 6,000 more wood, 11,000 more food, 3,000 more gold, but he's down overall on the stone. Okay, interesting. So our Saracen actually managed to get 2 extra castles worth of stone here, but this is insane. This is like a 67, 70% bigger economy for our Burgundian. Now, usually with the Flemish Revolution, it is a one and done. You do it, and then it sets your economy back so much that if you don't succeed, usually you tap out. In this case, it very much succeeded because Capoch did not prepare for it. He didn't see it coming. A few hand cannoneers, a few defensive castles, or even walls would have been helpful here. But ultimately, with the move, the blind side here, oh my god. I mean, look at this end screen. When have we seen, how many, what's army supply here? 101 army supply from one unit on one screen. That's just bonkers. 105 if I zoom out. You know what? Why am I doing this? 108. Okay, 108 total army supply. Literally in the shape of an arrow, by the way. If you look at it, kind of squint your eyes and put down the coke. Literally in the shape of an arrow heading straight for these extra powerful camels, but even the camels can't withstand. Again, they attack so weak. They're a purpose-built unit. They're here to kill these paladins, and they're nowhere near those paladins. And with that side attack, I'm like a side decision-making attack, I want to say. It's ultimately the Viper who builds just an absolute massive economy that our Saracen just didn't notice, I guess. Or noticed but thought he could hold. Thought he was going to try to put on the pressure against the Viper here with 2 castles. But ultimately the Viper, using all of those economic advantages that the Burgundians came with, rushed his butt up to Imperial, got out the Trebs, demolished Capoch's forward position, saw with his paladins that Capoch didn't really have that big of an army back home, and then just decided, you know what, I'm just going to do a Flemish Revolution, and let's see what the hell happens. And what the hell happened is that the Viper is victorious, but GG in a incredibly fun matchup to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.